For this story, we traveled to a farm south of Farwell, nationally known for the Hereford and Saler cattle that are bred there. Appropriately named McIvers Happy Acres, as Dave McIvers explains.
Well, my grandfather emigrated from Scotland, and he came over to this country and he walked out to Lowry, which the railroad came to. He started a general store. One day he had taken wheat down to Glenwood to get it milled, and when he got home there was a gospel tract in it that told him he could know that he could have eternal life. And he got a hold of that and became the born-again person and changed the whole community. They were very happy about that. And then the family came along, and there was 3 boys, and my grandfather thought they needed to get out on a farm instead of be fooling around town, as boys would do, you know. So he bought the farm, and it had been homesteaded by another person, Scandinavian descent, and my grandfather bought it from him. So that's how we came to get the farm in the family, and then they named it Happy Acres because of knowing that they could have eternal life. So my father and my uncle farmed together then. I was the only boy in the 2 families. I had gone to university several years, and my father got ill, and I came home and stayed on the farm then. Several of the things that really changed our operation was I was invited to a soil seminar that this growers fertilizer company from Ohio put on. We were already thinking conservation-wise. The things I heard at that soil seminar that day were things completely different than I'd heard at the university. The importance of calcium in the soil and a mineral solution that was far more efficient to use than dry fertilizers. So I came home and told my wife, Marilyn, that I think they're telling the truth. Well, she said, if you think so, you better pursue it. And so that's what I did, and started using it and then selling to some neighbors, and eventually they asked me to be their district manager for Minnesota and the Dakotas and a little bit up into Canada. That changed our outlook, and another thing that really changed our perspective was because our fences were poor, we got involved with a fence company that was teaching about intensive grazing. And we got started on that, and we had many of the great grazers from New Zealand. New Zealand is a very grass-oriented country, and we learned so many things from them. For instance, one thing, any size pasture you have, if you divide it 7 times, you can probably double the capacity that pasture would hold. And we found that to be basically true. So we decided a long time ago, instead of fighting with people over land, we were going to intensify our cattle operation. And we have purebred cattle. My father before me had registered shorthorns, and as they fell out of favor, the people that our friends up in Canada that we dealt with in shorthorns had polled Herefords. So we added some polled Herefords, and later we added the Saler cattle, the French breed. Both have been tremendous assets to our farm. So we sell breeding stock. I guess we've sold into close to 30 states now. We started a private treaty bull sale this year. It was the first one that we've had like that, where we had the animals priced at good, better, and best. And people seem to really like it. We raise a lot of feed for the livestock on our farm. My son Scott, who farms with us, has some soybeans, and we raise some wheat.
We winter our cows in the lot, and they go to pasture during the summer to go out on grass. And we do use a lot of bedding. We keep them dry and give them a nice place to lay. And what I was doing now was composting the manure, piling it up and letting it heat. The piles will get as hot as 160, 170 degrees in there, and it will destroy most of the weed seeds, and it will also reduce the volume. It makes the manure more concentrated in the field, and it's the best fertilizer in the world. You can't get that kind of response with commercial fertilizer. I don't care how much money you spend.
The McIvers are very enthusiastic about growers' mineral solutions and use it to enhance both plant and animal health on their farm.
It was a liquid fertilizer. It's all food grade material, growers' fertilizer. and the cattle really do well on it. It's the same fertilizer we use on the field. Plant it within the furrow and the corn planter, and then we also come back with it as a foliar spray. The leaves absorb the nutrients. It's much more efficient than feeding the ground.
It's pretty obvious that Scott likes the farm life.
One thing about the farm lifestyle, especially with beef cows, every day is different. It's very unpredictable.
As any animal can be,
yes, yes, yes.
Marilyn and I were married in 1960, so this is getting quite a spell. The years go by faster. So we have 2 boys and 2 girls. Our oldest is a daughter, Heather. Her husband is into some of the garden things with Marilyn, and he does these vegetables every week for people. Marilyn is a good gardener, and Greg was a city boy, so she had to teach him quite a few of the tricks about gardening. And it was kind of interesting. Last year, a UPS driver is a lady. She come breezing in this one day last fall, and she said, absolutely without a question, Marilyn's got the top garden in our whole area that I cover. And she said, I'd love to have a package to bring in so I can see what's going on with their garden. We put a lot of calcium, which growers recommend. We don't do it for pH, but for available calcium. And it makes your ground mellower so the roots can go deeper and so forth. So she foliar feeds it once or twice a week, every week. And
just about everything on the farm gets growers. The field crops, the cattle, the garden. And I suppose when you eat the garden produce, you get a little yourself. Huh?
You got it. You got it. It's sure better to try and stay healthy. And Scott's the next one in line, and he's farming with us. And Tom is the next one, and he's a guidance counselor up at Walker. He comes home. In fact, today he's been home yesterday and today helping us. And Holly, our youngest daughter, lives in the city, and she's in social work with handicapped adults. So that's kind of the extent of our gang here.
Happy in their faith and blessed to be living on the farm. That's the McIvers, and that's Happy Acres Farm.